What is the best affirmation to use? This is a comment from one of my subscribers on a video about some success stories involving SPs returning after different amounts of time. And I want to answer this question because I see it actually quite a bit, not only on my channel, but in also the Rosey Life community and just people, clients that come to me. People ask these kinds of questions quite a bit. And I want to get to the root of this so that you can free yourself from seeking the right affirmation. But before we get started, my name is Rose and welcome to the Rosey Life. Thank you so much for being here, subscribing to the channel, liking the videos. I appreciate your support. And I just love you guys so much for just even being here and believing in the Rosey Life. I love you guys. And if you are interested in working with me one-on-one, you can go to RoseyLife.com and see the different options on how you can work with me, or you can join the Rosey Life community and course where we dive into these different topics to level you guys up every single week, and not just techniques and stuff, because that's just like, it's so baby food and just so yesterday. It's like, it's out of style. Like, let's get into your power. All right, let's step into your power. Techniques are fun and processes are fun, all of that stuff. They're fun to use, but they're not so much fun to use when you get frustrated and you keep pushing the button, so to speak, and you're like, no results. And that is what this video is about. All right, so let's get into it. So this subscriber said, she watched a video about some SP stories that I posted, and I can't remember which SP video it was, but she wanted to know which affirmation did a person in the video I mentioned, the client that I mentioned, which affirmation did she use to get her SP back? So my response was, it's not the affirmation, it was her knowing that she could have her SP back. So it was her knowing, her belief, that brought that person back into her life, not the affirmation. And I'm really, I want to empathize with you guys, because I used to do that too. I used to think, what's the perfect affirmation? And it almost felt like at times, see if this relates to you guys, it almost felt like at times like I wanted to get the one perfect affirmation that included everything that I didn't want to have happened, everything that I want to have happen in the future, and everything that I want to, all the details on how it's going to happen and how fast it's going to happen. I wanted nothing left undone. I wanted to make sure that that affirmation covered literally everything: time, space, what I wanted, how I wanted it, how much I wanted it, the color, the shape, the size, all of it. I wanted to make sure. So I was like constantly racking my mind looking for the perfect affirmation, because I was afraid that if I didn't say it the right way, that I wouldn't get what I wanted, or that I would get a version of it or a semi version of it, or that it would take longer if I said it wrong. Do you see how much fear was built in that affirmation? So by the time I said it, I was saying an affirmation full of fear, full of anxiousness, full of neediness, and really doubt, because the whole affirmation was built on doubt. It was built on fear. It was built on not knowing, not trusting, not believing. It was like built on me casting it in I think A Course in Miracles says this, right? That we cast spells on things, right? In other words, we cast spell on working out as the result is why we get in shape. We cast a spell on an affirmation because we're saying that that affirmation has to be perfect. And so our power, so to speak, casts a spell on those words so that it produces results. Well, when you know who you are, you're going to realize that techniques and affirmations, right, are actually not even necessary, because you just have the slightest thought, because you have let go of the doubts and fears within, and you just have the slightest thought, or you feel good about something or thinking about something, and it manifests like this. right? So, for example, I was at a store the other day and I was looking for Christmas tinsel, like the garland tinsel, I think that's what you call it, that gold and red and stuff, right? And they were out. There was nothing. And then there was two workers in the aisle, like stocking shelves, and I looked around in their baskets to see if they were going to stock anything new, but I'm like, no, because it's pretty picked over by this time, and I'm sure a lot of stuff was just like gone, and so it was pretty picked over, and I was kind of bummed. So I grabbed some lights that I liked, and then I just kind of went to a different department. But I remember thinking in that moment, I'm like, dang, I really would like some tinsel. And as I said the words, an employee that works there walked by holding two things of tinsel in her hands right in front of me. And I didn't affirm, I didn't visualize, I didn't do any of that stuff. She literally walked in front of me with a tinsel, and I just followed her and I said, excuse me, where are those going? And she says, oh, I'm going to put them on the shelf. And I said, I'll take those, thank you. Because all I said is like, I'd like, because when you remember, or right, when you understand first that the world that you are in is inside of you, everything that you see is inside of you. There's no separation, right? So you really want to remember that. You remind yourself daily, okay? Even like Lester Levins in a book on happiness is free, he talks about reminding yourself daily until, right? Until you are like, your thirst is quenched, right? About you knowing who you are, right? So you remind yourself daily, and he says like to ask yourself, what am I? Right? And so to allow the higher self to speak to you, not your thoughts, not the ego, but allowing your higher self to tell you what you are, right? You're love. But anyway, so you remind yourself that you are not separated from this world, that this world is inside of you. The illusion is that it's separate from you, but you are one with this power. You are one, right? The world is inside of you. You're not trying to make some happen out here. You are understanding that you're not separate. So that is something that you really want to remind yourself of every single day, that I am everything, that this world is inside of me. And when you are focused on that more than a technique or an affirmation or whatever it is that you're manifesting, all of these things will be added unto you. Literally, that Bible scripture, it says, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added unto you, right? The kingdom of God, right, is within you. Everything is within you. Your power, yourself, your higher self, that is what you're seeking. And everything that you want, it just comes to you like quickly. And the more that I focus on not feeling separation, the more I focus on understanding that there is no separation, that it is just something that I created, that you all created. There is no separation between you and your desires and you and your higher self. The more that you seek that, the more that comes to you in the knowingness, instead of you running around looking for technique and trying to figure out how to have more faith or how to believe or how to be one with I am. It's like you seek it, you remember, you tell yourself, right? So what is the perfect affirmation? Let's get back to that question that the subscriber said. She wanted an affirmation, right? That clearly tells me that this person, and it's like, again, it's like I'm not putting you or anyone else down with that question, because I think it's a valuable question, because it helps all of us dive deeper into our power, is understanding that our power is not in these words. Our power is not in an affirmation. Our power is not in a technique. If you try to see an affirmation as a technique and that it has to prove results, first of all, it will give you results. An affirmation will give you results. right? However, you'll notice that after a while, it doesn't work anymore. Same thing with any meditation, like any nighttime meditation or anything. You'll notice at the beginning it feels good, but then it kind of dies off, and then you stop kind of losing interest in it. So why? Because it's not yours. You always want to choose an affirmation that is just you, that is uniquely you. Okay, it's something that you would say, something that you would experience, better yet, something that you would personally in your world experience if you were to have that thing, whatever it is that you desire. So however you would feel, something you experience, something that you would say, something that someone would say to you, that is what you want to go after, the experience of it. In fact, it doesn't even need to include that specific person or the specific job or the specific car. It's more about how you experience this now that you have it, like something you would say, something you would do, something that you would see, something that you would touch, those kind of things, right? That's what Neville talks about, is using the reality, the tones of reality. He's talking about the senses, right? That we can use the senses to go within and see ourselves having this thing, because this thing that you want, I want you to know, already exists. It's already been created. You are just selecting this thing or person or experience that you want to experience in your life right now. And all you have to do is see yourself as having it right now and you experiencing it right now. If you get caught up in the right words, your focus is on the words or the affirmation and not the experience of it. Do you see? So the experience of it is most important, not the right words, not the right technique. If those techniques lead you into the experience of having it, then by all means use that technique. But if you're just doing it because some YouTuber told you that this is what you say to get everything you want, then you're going to be not experiencing it the way that you would experience it, because you're doing it because someone else told you to do it that way. So always remember that you are all-knowing. You are omnipotent. You are the one that has all the answers within. Going within, asking your higher self to show you, right, what is the best scene, the best affirmation for me. And I promise you, you will get an answer if you go within. If you ask a coach, if you ask someone else, they can prompt you, guide you, give you some ideas. But let me tell you that many times I've gone within and I've asked that question and I'm given an immediate little scene or thought or feeling, and I'm like, yeah, that totally would happen. That's totally me. That's nailed it. Like, I couldn't even come up with it with the egoic mind. I couldn't come up with it on my own in that mind. Or I've asked, other people, like, what would I say? And but when I go within and I ask my higher self, I'm giggling because it's so spot on. Like, I'm feeling it right now, a certain visual, but it's totally me. It's like exactly how I would feel. It's exactly what I would see. Do you see? So that's, your higher self knows you really, 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 really well if you trust and go within. Now, sometimes that answer will come to you immediately. Sometimes it might take a few minutes, an hour, or a day, or a couple, whatever, but it will come to you. All you have to do is be aware, right? Be aware because it's speaking to you, and remember that your higher self, I am, does not scream, does not throw it in your face, does not insist, does not control. It's not going to force feed you to do it this way and you have to do it, you have to do it, you have to do it over and over and over. And no, if you are hearing that, I'm just like, no, that is not how I am speaks. That's not how higher self speaks. Why do I know that? Because I am source. God is love. And again, in another video, I said, love is patient, love is kind. And this power is very quiet. It's very peaceful. It's very quiet, which is why many of you are wondering why you're not hearing it, why you're not seeing it, and you want it, sent to you with neon signs and it flashing and all of these things, afraid that you're going to miss it. Your power within you is very quiet, peaceful. It's love. So its only language is love. It's not demanding. It's not going to yell at you. It's not going to knock you upside your head so you get it, right? That's not loving, right? So it's always going to come to you in the most beautiful, quiet ways, right? It could be, you be in the shower, you're washing dishes, bending down, picking up your shoes. It's like it'll come when it comes. Right? But trust and know that you will have that scene. And when you get that, stick to it. Stick to it, stick to it, stick to it. Stick to it more than anything else, because that is being downloaded directly for you to manifest. It's so cool how that works. So what is the best affirmation? The one that comes from you. It's the purest of affirmations. It's the most potent, it's the most powerful, it's the one that will work because you trust it. You asked for it and you got it from your higher self. So that is the best affirmation in the entire universe to work. All right, my loves, I'll see you soon. Bye.